And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that short break. Hope you enjoyed that brutal OST as we have returned with the semifinals of Sparkling Tuna Cup number 72. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss. God, I forgot to reset casting tool. But we have the Red Protoss for Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. God damn it. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the opponent. We have the Red Zerg player from the land of Belarus going for a 15-hatch opener for the Platinum Heroes as well. It is Nikich. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open. Just give us a moment to get that going so you can embrace the Gamba. The Gamba party. Let's go. There we go. Upon hearing this message, you have 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to place your bets on who you believe will take the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat with those predictions. As once again we load into Ultra Love. Now Ultra Love has some unique features, of course. One, it is very aesthetically pleasing. We have the vortexes all over the place. We have the ley lines underneath them as well, you know, with the ether. Do love to see it. But on top of that, it's very defendable. Very defendable. I do know that we did see an all-in succeed in the last game. That is true. But for the most part, the natural base has a very narrow choke point and a ramp. Likewise, you can say the same here towards the left and right-hand side. We have destructible towers in position as well. So if you are aware that there's an all-in coming, you can knock down those towers, knock down the rocks, and buy time here at the third. So those are things to bear in mind. But now that we are settling in, again, Nikich is going for a very safe opener, getting to his queens, getting into his lings. As we drone up from here. So shout out to the tuna. Unfortunately, because we're in the PTR, I believe there is no logo set up here. So usually our tuna is on the map. Not this week. Once it goes live, it should be there. The PTR, I mean, when it goes live. As the purpose being forced back, and Nikich taking his third, and we can see the take-up choice for Gerald. It is going to be a Stargate opener. So far, so good. Just gate expand into Cybercore, into a Stargate. Everything looking normal from the side of Gerald. Again, Gerald, he isn't too chaotic, he isn't too crazy with his builds or with his style. He's very standard for the most part. So should be going into Oracle production, into a third, into the mid game. Meanwhile, Nick is just trying to keep up with the Adept movement. So far, keeping up with the Shades. Joining up his bases, Link speed is on the way. You can see Nikich, he has pulled out of gas, so he's not going into a fast Baneling Nest or a fast Roach Warren. There's no all-in setup here from Nikich. Just happily droning, and now we can embrace a bit of a longer game state, at least initially. So far, a lot of these games have been quite intense, but we're going to be able to slow things down here. Creep Tumor is denied. Nice pickup. And the Adepts, they likewise don't get much done, not yet, just taking the bases. Basically, it's on Gerald here to make sure that no early gases are being taken, that there's no early tech either. So Gerald just doing the best he can to scout, to confirm. Oracle has arrived, third base is being taken behind this. And the Oracle does rotate towards the main. Two queens are in position, and Nikich is ready for this. Oracle gets a revelation, spores in production, and Nikich has yet to lose any drones. So very nice defense so far by Nikich. I spoke too soon! As a couple of workers they left exposed here at the third, one drone finally goes down. Oh! Just the one. Meanwhile, Gerald behind this, taking into a Twilight Council after the third. I don't see a Forge alongside... there we go. It's going to be a bit of a later Forge for Gerald, so this should be +1 in Blink. It could be +1 in Charge, but I would imagine Blink is on the horizon for Gerald. As he is being active, and Nikich, he is skipping the Roach Warren. That is a Baneling Nest on the way instead. Now, with the Baneling Nest, this does mean that Nikich, he should be going for Ling Bane into Lair Tech into Hydras. as usually you'd go one or the other, Baneling Nest or Roach Warren. The fact that it's not a Roach Warren means that Nikich is trying to preserve his gas. He's building up and saving gas for that lair tech. Technically, this could also be Spire, and this could be like Muta play out of Nikich, but that's a little bit more niche, that's really risky. I'm for now leaning towards Hydras instead. But technically it could be like Spire, Muta, it could be Infestation Bit into Swarm Host. Adepts try to sneak in. Lings, they shut them down. Yeah, they are going to be cleaned up. And back at home we have confirmation. It is in fact a +1 and Blink Stalker. So Blink Stalker is from Gerald, following it up with his splash damage of choice. It is not going to be Colossus production. Interesting. It's going to be instead Archons and Storm. High Templar going to be on the way behind this. Meanwhile, as we did mention, Nikich is going Lingbane into Hydra. Again, it is, I mean, he had the option to go into Spire if he wanted to, but Hydras are a little bit more common, a little bit more standard. So it should be Lingbane, Hydra, into Hive, into Lurkers. That should be the kind of tech path of Nikich. Meanwhile, Gerald, he knocks down the tower. He walls up, he walls off. Securing himself, playing very defensively. 4th base is on the way. Just really defensive play overall here for Gerald. He even does use the energy overcharge on his oracles, just so he can throw down more stasis traps, just so he can set up defensively. Lings will threaten a run by, and the 4th base is Scout. Nice bait on the stasis. High Templar are spotted. Specifically against Lingbane Hydra, High Templar are going to be amazing. Storm, they shut down all things light, all things that Nikich really has to work with. So it's going to be very difficult for Nikich to be aggressive initially. And Geralt, he's fully securing his 4th. Now, this is the biggest concern that I had coming into Ultra Love, is just how defendable this map is. Again, look at all these choke points that are being walled off, and look at all these ramps as well that are difficult to really push up to, or push into as well. So Geralt, he's just fully fortifying himself on 4 bases. Fleet Beacon is on the way. Geralt, he is turtling into Sky Toss. At least that's his plan. Can he get there? Nikich, he droned up to 77, massing up more Lings, and can Nikich break Geralt before he can really get to that Sky Toss? Before he can max out. And then this central location is kind of the best place to attack for Nikich, to try to drag the army out of position. Nikich has the Concave, another Storm connects. Banelings are morphing in, that's 17 Banelings in production. Banelings, they do get spotted. Yeah, the Banelings are spotted, and Geralt, he's running out of storms. Oof. A bit of a zoning storm, doesn't connect. There are 3 High Templar left, and Nikich, he's knocking down those rocks. Do we have an energy overcharge? Not quite. No storms yet available. No force fields either. Again, force fields would be amazing against this kind of army. There's no Ravagers, there's no way to deal with the force fields. The last instead is just going to be purely Stalker, High Templar. The High Templar, no! Oh, Banelings, they connect massive connections. High Templar go down. Banelings, they bust into the mineral line. The probes! Oh my god, they barely do survive. But more Banelings are on the way. And Geralt, can he hold? Shield batteries are depowered. Cannon a little bit too far behind. But the Concave is there, and Geralt, he does force back the Hydras. Just barely. More Ling reinforcements have arrived. Lings are running out. Nikich overextending. And the Tempest has made it. Oh my god, it was a very clutch defense here by Geralt. He lost his High Templar, didn't have much stack defense. But he survives. You can see Geralt, he's got 2k minerals in the bank. Oh my god. He's got a lot of minerals, but he's trying to spend his money. Trying to spend his bank. Additional pylons on the way. More Tempest production. Geralt, he does not have enough to really counterattack to commit. And Nikich is holding. Or at least, I should say, he survives. And now we have to take a moment to breathe. Okay, couple of things. +1. This is how committed and how aggressive Nikich was. He still has +1 on the way. The Hive is in production, 2nd Eva Chamber, but the upgrades are lacking. The upgrades are straight up lacking here for Nikich. Likewise, Geralt, he's on 86 probes. He has an insane worker count, And Nikich is still only on 75 drones. He's just now droning up to saturate his 4th base as well. So Nikich, he has some recovering to do. As Nikich is embracing Hydra Lurker Viper, meanwhile, Gerald is embracing Skytoss. So Gerald has the greater army, 2 more Stargates on the way, Tectonic destabilizers as well. Is that a cancel? Yeah. Oh my, Jesus. Was a cancel on the expansion. Lings, they get one Templar. They get 1. Another Baneling run by is attempted. Gerald pushing out onto the map, denying creep. Now, Gerald shouldn't be pushing. He should only deny creep and then back up. Yeah. Playing it very safe, knocks down another tower. Once again, walling off. Ideally wants to fight on this choke point. Ling Bane rolling in. Where's the storm? Not quite there. Not yet. Carrier production has begun. Nikich rotating over towards the right-hand side. Gerald's looking for another way in. Zellaron does sneak past the army. Does hit the 4th. These Zealots, they shouldn't get a kill here. It's going to be close, but Clutch Transfuse, the hatchery will survive. There's a lot of Zealots being thrown away. But I mean, Gerald did have to make use of his mineral bank. True. And both armies are maxed. Both armies are maxed out. Looking at the supplies here, there are 5 High Templar, 2 Carrier, 2 Tempest. Is there enough Ling Bane? Oof. Once again, the storms are brutal. Oh my god. Yeah, massive storm on the Hydras. Meanwhile, Lings, the wall is open. The wall is not a wall. Lings, they flood into the natural. They flood into the main. Oh, forcing a recall. Lings, they get 5 probes. Zealots are left behind. The entire army races back. And that Ling run by didn't kill too many workers, but it did force a big reaction. It forced the entire Protoss army to turn around. And that gives Nikich time. Time for this. Phalunkers back. Ah, the Lunkers are here. 10 Lunkers morphing in. Lurker upgrades on the way as well. But does Nikich have enough anti-air? No Corruptors with this. Just Hydra. Gets an Oracle. What I will say is that the Skytoss army isn't too large. It's what, like 3 Carrier? Yeah, 3 Carriers, 2 Tempest. There's not too much in the sky, so Hydras can hold their own. Uh-oh. The Lurkers are left behind. And they are getting sniped. Ooh. 1 Lurker gets picked up. Getting 2. But again, there's not that much in the sky. Oof. And Gerald, he could have abused that a little bit more. The storms are coming in. They connect with the Hydras. Just zoning back the army. Meanwhile, Zellaron does hit the left-hand side, going for the 6th. Yeah, safe expansion is going to go down. Yo, let's go. We have the Microbial Shroud. It has been buffed in this PTR. But it is still vulnerable to Storm. Now, for those that are curious, as you can see there, the Microbial Shroud does stay on the units for a couple of seconds. So it does stick to the Hydras and stick to whatever units are in the Shroud for a couple of seconds. I think it's like 3 seconds or something. Like 2 to 3 seconds. Ooh, big pickoffs. 1 Infestor goes down. Storms are coming in. Ooh, I think that was the final. Okay, there's 1 more Storm. It does zone. Hydra started stepping forward. They do not get the Carrier. Carrier does survive. Meanwhile, Zealots, oh, they shut down the 4th. Brutal pickup. Hatchery goes down. Nikich forced back. And earlier I did mention, like, oh, there's not that much Skytoss. You know, Hydra Lurker Viper can be okay. But 1, there are no Vipers. 2, now there's more Skytoss. Looking at the units tab, 7 Tempest and 4 Carrier. This is a Skytoss army. And without Corruptor, it's going to be a tough hold. Now, if Gerald gets too excited, if he pushes onto creep, then he could be surrounded. So he has to be very careful. Doesn't want to get surrounded. Meanwhile, Zealots, they get 10 drones. The 1 here is Zealot. 10 drones. 11. Can we get 12? He can. He gets a Hydra. This one Zealot, Jesus Christ. 12 drones on a Hydra. Does pop off. Oh, Gerald catching another lurker. So they move in from the right-hand side. The Infestors! Oh, brutal pickoffs. The Infestors go down. Nikich is getting pulled apart. And it may just be too late at this point. Nikich is being outscaled by this army. How many Infestors? 10. Do we have Neural? No. No Neural. Only Fungals and Microbial Shroud. And here come the Fungal. A fight. Slows down on the army. Fungal does graze some of the carriers. Show us the Storms! Oh, the Storms are brutal. And Microbial Shroud does not help against the splash damage. Does catch a couple of Tempest. Another Fungal does connect. Force the recall. Very nice pickles towards the end. And Nikich is trying to hold his own, but the Zealot Rumbites continue. And he has no economy. Nikich, he has no economy. Nothing back at home. Workers are going down left and right. He's all in. It's all or nothing for Nikich. And he's running out. He's about to have nothing. The final Microbial Shroud. But the Tempest, they just have their way with this force. The Hydras, the Lurkers, and the Infestors. And again, Microbial Shroud is more viable in the PTR, that is true, but it's still not enough. GG gets called, and Gerald will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, I do think that the change to the Microbial Shroud is a positive one. The fact that it can latch onto units and apply the effect even, as the units do micro back and avoid things like Storm and avoid, any kind of splash damage. I do think that's a good thing. But that still doesn't mean that you can stay on Hydra, Lurker, Infestor as the game progresses. Now, it isn't just the fact that Nikich decided to stay on it. He was being all-in, if you remember. He was very active, or sorry, I should say, he was very aggressive early on with Lingbane Hydra. He was trying to go for the all-in. He failed the all-in. He did it again afterwards with Lurker Tech, and he just could not break his opponent. He could not break the bases. That is why he had no setup behind it going to Spire into Corruptor, because he had no intention of a longer game. He was trying to end it earlier, but he couldn't. He could not end it. On top of that, shout out to the Zealots, right? The Zealots were the MVPs. Non-stop Zealot Rumbites were killing workers, killing bases. They made sure that Nikich never had the economy to think about a tech switch. He just never had the economy for it. Never had the resources for like the Spire, for double Spire into those upgrades, into Corruptor. He was just being torn apart left and right. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. It's going to be on Whispers of Gold. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. In the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. Leading the series 1-0, it is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Zerg player from the land of Belarus, representing the Platinum Heroes. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Nikich. Going for another 15 hatch. With that, it is going to be placed just in time before the probe arrives and won't be forced to expand elsewhere. So this is going to be a 15-15 out of Nikich. Meanwhile, Gerald just happily going for his own gate expand. We're settling it. Here we go. Just catching up with the chat. Does Eba play later today? He's playing right now. We might be able to cast Eba later on if he does make it to the semis. If not, then we won't be able to cast any Eba. Does depend how he performs against Shameless. Oh, as Gerald, he does misplace the Nexus. Calm down, Gerald. Calm down. Shake it off. As, yeah, that was a brutal start. You can see here 100 minerals lost already for Gerald. It's, not ideal. But it'll be okay. So a bit of a handicap to start things off. As we do settle in. That isn't enough to like say like, oh, you know, the game is over or anything like that, but it's just you know, a little bit more in favor of Nikich to begin with. Especially early on, that 100 minerals, I mean, that does stack up. So now Nikich just gonna be chilling out, saturating his bases, third base now on the way. Link speed was delayed because of the opener, and Gerald is going for the Stargate. Once again, Stargate into Oracle. Eba, exactly. You know what I love? Thorn in the chat. Eba actually made his name on the PTR exactly that. Like, almost verbatim. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like, the way that you wrote it, the way that you typed it out, that's his name on the PTR. It's that long as well. Beautiful. He's one with the meme. He knows what his ID is. He knows. He knows. So now we're just droning. Oracle's on the way. Does Eva play quite a bit of 2v2? He does play in most 2v2 events. There's the NG overcharge. But whenever there's a 2v2 event, Eva, he does usually team up with, you know, someone. We've seen him team up with Jumi. We've seen him team up with, who was the other player he teamed up with recently? Was it Night Phoenix? No. We'll have to check. But if there's ever a 2v2 tournament, Eva's usually there. I don't know how much he plays, how much he ladders 2v2. I'm not too sure about that. But he at least does compete. At least does compete. As we can embrace Whispers of Gold. Now, something that I mentioned earlier, and Overlord speed is a bit of a sign here. This space is very exposed. Whispers of Gold is very prone and very prone to all-ins. Very much so. Whether it's Queen walks across the map, whether it's German taxis, we've seen a lot of all-ins be quite successful on this map, and the links they confirm the location of the third. Meanwhile, Overlord speed usually is for Dropper Lords. Lair is halfway done. Roach Warren has completed. The Oracles, they do bust into the mineral line. Drones are going down. Oh my god. It's going to be 5, 6, 7 drone kills. Yeah, the economy is going to be crippled. Nick is down to 38 workers. He does replace some of them, but we're waiting for him to pull the trigger. There it is. 7 roaches on the way. At depths, they do hit the third, and Nikich, he's getting pulled apart. Oh my god. He's not in position. Drones are falling left and right, and this is becoming too much. It's becoming game-ending damage. I mean, Nikich, I'm pretty sure he wants to go for an all-in, but he needs the economy to sustain that. Does need an economy, and there it is. 12 lings in production. No more drones. It's all or nothing. The Dropper Lord is in production as well. So Nikich, he's still going for the all-in, but again, like he is stumbling his way into the all-in as more drones are falling. And here he goes. He's pushing back at home. What do we have to defend? Soon to be some regular stalkers, soon to be blink stalkers. And it's all or nothing. Completely. It's all or nothing for Nikich. He's got 6 Ravagers, 1 Roach, 5 Queens. 3 of them are moving out in the Dropper Lord. But there's a shield battery. The Oracles, they dive in as well. And does Nikich have enough? Oh my god. No shot. No shot. Boys are being pulled as well. The Ravagers are being focused down. The Lings are helping. Does he have enough? He does at least zone the army away from the third. He gets 8 probe kills going for the expansion. Killing the third base is the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum that Nikich does need. And he's going to be able to get it. Not bad. Spreading creep as well. Okay. I didn't have faith. But it shows just how difficult it is to defend this location. Like, we've seen a lot of all-ins on Whispers of Gold. This is the all-in map. As Nikich is going to be containing, he has no intention of breaking the natural, he's just spreading creep. He's spreading creep, he's poking in, and he's droning. Nikich is re-droning. Oh. Aye, the Biles, they take down 2 more Stalkers. Nice force field, does catch a Queen. Cybercore goes down. Nikich still holding his own. Overextending for a moment, but he does have to pull away. Okay, backs off. Oracles, they hit the main once again, getting 2 more drones. And as the dust settles, where exactly are we? Well, the lair is done, and Roach Speed is finishing up as well. When it comes to the saturation, 45 drones. Now Nikich can focus on droning. And Nikich, his win condition is just deny the third. Deny the third over and over again. And he's getting ready. He's knocking down those rooks, morphing in more Ravagers. And Gerald's going for the Dark Shrine. Bold move. I mean, there are no spores. True. Never mind. There's 1 spore at the natural. No spore in the main or the third. But before we can think about DTs, we have to focus on this moment here. On the defense. Nikich coming in for this round. Up! Doesn't quite get it. Stalkers, they slip away. The Biles, they do connect. They graze the army. And more Stalkers going down. The pylon's so close to falling as well. Oh my god. Yeah, the Biles were brutal. Nikich, he wants more Stalkers. Gets 1 more. Takes down the pylon. Alright, rotates over towards the third. He is running out of units though, and the Ravagers are exposed. Oh, as Nikich, he's bleeding out more Ravagers. Stalkers, they trade so well against this. Very efficient trades by Gerald, and he saves the base. Saves the third. Gerald, he's still in this. Does save the expansion. This base should have gone down, but alas, Nikich just barely did not have enough. And now he's getting ready for the next wave. And now I'm concerned. Nikich is getting a 4th, but he is cutting workers at 49, at 50. 50 drones. He's still going all in. Nikich, he's still hyper aggressive. Roaches peel off towards the mineral line. DTs to defend. And the DTs will shut this down. At the same time, probes are falling. DTs moving out across the map. It's going to be 5 probe kills, but DTs, they hit the third. And they get 4 drones as well. Soon to be 5. Oh, not barely 4. And again, this forces back the army. I do wish that the DTs hit while Nikich was pushing to try to like catch him distracted and try to pull apart his attention. But Gerald is stabilizing. He is stabilizing. Goes for the NG overcharge, throws down additional stasis traps. Nikich once again building up a force, but, you know, once again, this is a Roach-heavy army. It's not the ideal army here. It's not the most efficient army. Yeah, Nikich, he just rams his face against a brick wall of Stalkers. Oh, God. And the Roaches aren't getting much done. Gerald, he's shutting this down. Yeah, we're running out of Roaches. Some of the Biles do connect. Not bad. But the entire army gets cleaned up, and Nikich, yeah, he has nothing left. GG gets called. Gerald, he will shut down the all-in. We'll take the series 2-0 and advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Nikich made the choice not to macro. He did decently well with the first all-in. Remember, he killed the third base. He contained his opponent on 2 bases. He had the option to drone and get up to a 3-base economy and get a 4th and just macro, right? Just macro from there. Instead, Nikich, he droned up a little bit. He got up to 2.5 bases and then went for a second all-in. Went for a second all-in, went for a third all-in as well. He refused to drone, and as a result, Gerald, as long as he was able to survive and hold on to the third, he was just getting further and further ahead. Just getting further and further ahead. He was able to recover, able to bounce back. GG. GG, well played. Gerald does take it in the end. Very impressive. We've seen many a Protoss player fall on this map on Whispers of Gold. And I mean, Nikich did kill the third initially, but it wasn't quite able to do much more than that. With that, congratulations. Gerald is going to be our first finalist, and now we are getting ready for the second semifinals. What is the next series? Where are we headed?